Had to get on here. I had to get on here, y'all. I had to get on here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I don't have any views yet, but I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about spiritual protection. Even though this is my tarot channel, I do tarot readings or whatever. I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about what it is that I want to talk about. Crap, I didn't get mine. Um, but as you can see in the title, how spiritually protected are you? Now, I had a person that I was speaking with earlier, or whatever, about the same subject. And by the way, before I begin, anybody who intentions are to send any kind of negative um, thought or action or whatever against me or my subscribers or anybody who's watching, may it be returned to the sender. Okay, but I wanted to get on here and talk about a little bit about this because a lot of us, we go into talking about, oh, yeah, I'm protected. Um, I know I'm protected, and um, so we ask for protection. We pray and everything and whatever for us to be protected. But is that all the work that needs to be done? Do we just pray about being protected and that should be it? And I know that as much as I do to um stay protected or whatever on my end. A lot of people ask me, what do you do to protect yourself? For one, I do go into prayer. I meditate. I do my herbs and my candles and all that kind of stuff or whatever. That's me doing part of the work. But what I'm saying is that you can pray for protection and you know that you have a spirit team that got your back 100%. And you can call upon them and they will only show up if you call upon them. They will only protect you if you call upon them. That's the angels, there's angels for different types of things that they are assigned to in order to come in and do the work. But in order for them to actually do the work, there must be something put in place that you have to do as an individual for them to be able to do the work necessary for them to do. They're willing and waiting to do the work. Don't get it twisted. And when they come through viciously. But before they do, you have to be able to do some work. Okay, they're not gonna sit back and watch you say, oh, okay, well, I'll just pray for them to come do the work, whatever. They sitting back watching you, you know, just basically fall into something that say for instance, you doing something like not taking care of yourself, as far as self-care and doing the things necessary for them to really come in and have, so you can have a connection, a spiritual connection. um so that's work you have to do in order for them to be able to work for you. Okay. You know, I know that from my own experience, I only can speak from my own experience. I can't speak for nobody else or whatever. Even though I've done everything that I had to do or whatever on the physical aspect of it or whatever, there was things that I needed to do with myself. Um, and I knew that it was because I felt like I wasn't getting the protection at the time like I needed to be. It wasn't as strong because I sat back and basically was trying to um let things happen for me when it came to that. When it comes to that, let me get some comments. Push the like button if you like the content. Um, so we can't just sit here and don't think there's nothing we have to do on our end. We have to clean up. We have to clean up our yard, in order for them to be able to do our work. Whether that's learning the lessons that's necessary for us that we need to learn, you know, and in order for us to get protected or whatever. And I'm trying to think of as I said, the best way to put this. Mm. And you can't be closed minded when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. And we're dealing with a spiritual warfare right now. And so we're going to have a lot of, and it may not even be a physical, you might not even see this stuff in a physical form or whatever. All this stuff is spiritual. And when they say we're going through a spiritual warfare, we are definitely going through a spiritual warfare. And so those ones that are chosen, especially, you're gonna have people come up against you. You're gonna have people who talk about you. You're gonna have people laugh in your face. You're gonna have people call you crazy. You're gonna have all these things happen to you, but you've been strong in spirit or whatever. Is what's going to help you get through all of that. Okay. Um. Now you can't sit back and you have to be very careful when it comes to like the things you listen to, the things you put into your body, the things you put into your mind, even the words you speak, your own thoughts. You have to be careful. You have to be very careful when it comes to that. um so that's part of you doing some of the work. Okay, we could ask for protection all day long, but it's stuff you have to do. There is stuff you have to do. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. So, with that being said, I want to invite some people in if anybody is available to come in and talk on this subject. I don't even know how to even bring nobody in. Yeah, but this is very important for a lot of people. People think that you could just pray. I mean, you can pray and ask for what you need or whatever, but there's work you still have to do. And that's what any prayer you do. You have to meet spirit halfway. You have to be able to do some work. You can't just sit back and just pray and think everything's gonna be okay. No, you have to put in some work. I see people coming in and leaving or whatever. That's good. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to watch me. But somebody, whoever this message is for, or whatever, if you stop by and you watch this message and you listen to the whole end or whatever, this message was for you. So and I came on here and I had my mindset about what it was exactly about what it was. I do that all the time. And as soon as I go live, it's like so hopefully spirit can bring it back to me and come back in thought. And I could be able to talk about it more so because I have more to say. Um but oh, on top of that, speaking of that, be careful who you entertaining because you never know if you're entertaining an angel. And when I say entertaining, I mean how you act, how you perform in front of other people. Um, and there are such things as earth angels. There are people here that are actual angels walking in the flesh, and you have no idea who they are. They could be sitting right next to you, and you would never know that this person is an angel. And people come into our lives for a reason. And I was just telling somebody this. And the ones that are chosen, they're chosen ones. And a lot of people think, well, because of their past or whatever, that this person can't be chosen. Well, trust and believe me, everybody has a journey, and everybody's journey is not just going to be the same. And just because this person passed may not have looked like how their future is, and they could have did a dramatic change in their life. And but you're looking at their past and what they did in the past, like how could this person, be chosen? Why would God choose this person to be a chosen one or whatever? You don't know God what mission this person was on, what mission God had this person on or whatever. They might have to go through some things in order to get where they at today. So, but because they're human flesh or whatever, they signed up for this mission. And but it's something inside of them, something deep inside of them that knows that they feel like they're not they can't really connect with people here. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I've actually been through this. I've actually experienced this myself. And you feel like you don't belong. You feel like an outcast. You could even got bullied in school, which I did. I got bullied. I ain't gonna lie, I did get bullied. But when I got up out of there and got into the streets, there wasn't no more of that. Um, but it was and I was raised up into a Christian faith or whatever, organized religion, and I never got baptized in the religion, but I grew up in it. So, but it was the foundation of my spirituality and my spiritual growth, and so I'm thankful for that. But you know, it was something that even when I was a kid, I used to write. I used to write out little letters. I used to write letters to God. Telling them God my problems and this and that. And I talked to God all the time. And I was young. I was young doing this. I remember this. So I had a connection with the higher power at a young age. At a very young age. Um, my mentor just it was just saying something. I do got mentors, y'all. Um, but I always had a close connection or whatever, even at a young age. And then when I got older, I started realizing I was gifted, and I didn't know, I didn't understand it at the time. And I knew my mom had the gift; she was gifted too as well, but she didn't understand it either. And I don't know what her gift was. I honestly don't. We thought that she was just schizophrenic or whatever. It was that she just didn't understand her gift. And when I was when I started understanding my gift or whatever, I even went to a person that I was having Bible studies with or whatever, and trying to understand it more clear, trying to get understanding of it because I didn't understand it at first, and I'm like, well, how am I able to do certain things? How am I able to see certain things or whatever, feel certain things or whatever? And she was like, well, you may be dealing with spiritism and this and that and that. I said the way I was raised in my Christian, I was raised the same, and as a Jehovah Witness, I was raised as a Jehovah Witness, and that's the lady I was studying when she was Jehovah Witness herself, and she told me, "Oh, you must be dealing with spirit." I said, "No, I wasn't raised. I'm so afraid of it. I never dealt with it. I don't have nothing to do with no spiritism, no psychics, no nothing. I was afraid of it." So I'm like, well, how am I able to have these gifts? So she couldn't give me the answers. I'm like, well, something else has to be going on. Something else got to be going on. And I'm speaking of this, and even though this is off subject or whatever, but I'm telling you this to say this: those ones that are chosen or whatever, they would have to put on a shield. It's like you got to put on a protective shield against you. And I remember when some of the people were getting baptized, the brother would get up there and he would speak and he would say that once they get back, right before they got baptized, he would say, "You know that you have a target on your back. You know you have become a target for Satan." And I'm thinking to myself, well, even though I'm not getting baptized, I'm dedicating my life. Um, to the higher power or whatever. But when you get baptized, it's like a confirmation to say that that's what you're doing. But even though I didn't get baptized to say that, I knew in my heart, in my conviction that that's what I was doing. And so I knew from that point on that I was going to have a target on my back no matter what, especially when you are gifted and you are meant to serve a purpose, you're going to be targeted. You're going to have people to come after you or whatever, and they may not even know why they don't like you. They may not know why they hate you. They may not even know why. It was something about hear people say, "Oh, well, I don't know why I don't like." It's something about that person I just do not like. It's the reason why. It's the spirit inside of them. And so I'm telling you this, to say, protect yourself at all costs. Um, and if you are one of the chosen people. Mm, If you are chosen, you're gonna know that you're chosen. I'll put it like that. You're gonna know that you're chosen. Um, and the reason why you would know is the same thing that Jesus said he went through in the Bible. Even though if you believe in Jesus or not, um, I believe in the concept of Jesus. There's no proven fact that especially as only the shroud, which I don't, Anyway, that's a whole different story. But anyway, but the spirit of Jesus. I mean, the spirit of Jesus or whatever. should be in all of us, especially the ones that are chosen. And if you haven't walked in those footsteps, if you have not been persecuted, if you have not been talked about, if you have not did the work, if you have not, even did the miracles, if you have not, if you're not gifted or whatever, if if you had all those things, if you did all of that, and you can feel when you speak, when you speak, hear the stories of what he went through, and you don't emotionally get moved by that or whatever, I don't know what to say. You know, I know when I listen to the stories or whatever, I get moved. My spirit moves me because I can relate to it. That's the difference. When you can relate, and because you've been through it, then yeah. I don't like calling myself a chosen one. I don't like calling myself no angel. I don't like calling myself a prophet, a prophetess. I don't like calling myself none of these titles. I don't like doing that. But other people, have called me that. A healer and all that. I don't give myself these titles. I just do what I do. And um and if I can help anybody else that's going through certain things or whatever, then that's what I'm here for. I understand. I understand the struggle. I understand. I understand a lot. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about a lot. I put it like that. um, I had a conversation with somebody that said they made a comment. They started laughing at me and basically said that, "Oh, you didn't get into uh, you didn't do tarot. You didn't start getting into tarot until you started watching tarot." That's not true. I'm here to say that is not true at all. I actually was on my. I'm still on my spiritual journey, and I was really deep into my spiritual journey at that point when I first got into tarot, and um, and I didn't know how to protect myself at that time. I was very vulnerable. I was confused, and so I was looking for answers. And I sleep with my whole side of the bed with nothing but Bible literature, study guides, everything. Like I dive deep. So when I dive, I love doing research. So but I still couldn't get the answer that I was looking for. And it's crazy because when I use the Bible even as a divination tool. You can use anything as a tool. And I use the Bible as a tool. And I was asking questions or whatever, and I would just open the chapter. I would open the Bible up to any chapter, and whatever chapter that my eyes called attention to, I would read that whole chapter. Okay. And they answered the questions that I was having. Okay. And I still wanted clarification about what I was going through. And so I was just going through my phone one day on YouTube, scrolling or whatever. I used to watch beauty channels or whatever and get into the beauty thing, whatever. And one day a reading just popped up on my screen. I was scared. Like I said, I wasn't into the tarot readings and psychics and all that because I was always scared of it. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I should watch it. Oh no. I said, forget it. I'm gonna just watch it, see what they're talking about. And when she was she was talking about the Bible, reading out of the scriptures and all that. I'm like, what in the world? Let me just listen to what she has. And I'm telling you, that reading had resonated with me. And I don't even know who the reader was, but that was in 2018. And I got my spiritual awakening in 2019. But a year later. But I watched that reading and I'm like, oh wow, I want a reading. I want a reading. But I couldn't afford it. I was broke as hell. Shit. Yeah, I didn't have no money. I was like, well, how the hell I didn't know how much they charged at the time. Didn't know. I just knew that whatever they was gonna charge, I knew it was gonna cost some money and I didn't have it. I didn't have it at the time. So I said, I need to learn how to do this so I can get my own readings. And I started with playing a regular card deck. I sure did. I started with a regular card deck and learned the meanings of them, the cards. I learned the meanings of them or whatever. And actually those cards are actually more accurate than any other cards that I've ever had. And so I went from there, and then I wound up getting into. I inherited some other cards or whatever, some oracle cards, some tarot cards, and I started just learning the cards or whatever, and whatever message came out to me, the meaning of the cards and what it meant to me, you know, uh, by intuition or whatever, and I went from there. So I wasn't watching tarot readings like that before I got into tarot. No, no. I didn't know nothing about no readers or whatever. I just started following readers until after that, to try to get the technique down, to try to, to see what avenue I was going to get. But at all the tarot readers I didn't watch, I felt like I have my own style. So I've been over here for 20 minutes just talking, but during that time I wasn't protected. Well, I was, but I wasn't protecting protecting myself like I needed to protect myself. So I definitely got spiritually attacked during that time because when I started learning, it was like, no, I don't want you to. It was like there was an energy like I don't want you to speak the truth. You know, I'm gonna block you from telling the truth or finding the truth or whatever. That just motivated me more to keep going. So I kept going with this. To this day, that's why I do it for clarification. Okay, and I help other people, and I have to continue to protect myself and do the work. When the spirit tells me, there's certain things that I have to do to protect myself or whatever, that's what I do. You know, I go into meditation. I do that. I get my sunlight as much as I can. Would it be in wintertime, the sun does still come out, but it'd be cold. And the more sun you have, on you is better. Um, I go get my checkups. I do my self care. Make sure that part of me is taken care of. I did have I did fall short at a point or whatever. Um, I did get spiritually attacked. I guess uh, when distractions are that's why it's very important to pay attention to the distractions and the things around you that's going to distract you, because once you get distracted, whether you get distracted by partying too much or listening to certain music or drinking or doing drugs or whatever the case may be, you get distracted, your guard is down, and you are subject to getting attacked or whatever, and there's entities that will attach itself to you. So you have to be very careful during this time. And I just experienced like last month to a couple months ago or whatever, and to where I was in a hospital. And till this day, they don't know why I experienced what I experienced. But I did. They said I had a stroke, but it was like an old stroke or whatever. And so it could have been. I'm like, well, I'm still trying to understand that. Like, if it's old, then why am I just not having symptoms or whatever? So I'm having all these stroke-like symptoms, but they can't find nothing. That lets me know that somebody was doing some kind of work that they was not supposed to do against me. And by me knowing that, I don't know who, so I can't pinpoint and say, I'm going to go after this person. I'm going after this person. It's not meant for me to know who it is. I don't want to know who it is. Whoever it is, I just know they need some healing. And so, and I also do not do return to sender unless it's necessary. If I feel like a person getting attacked, then yeah, I would definitely I would do a return to sender, but I don't like to do it as much. But like at the beginning of this video, I did say that if anybody is having ill will against me, or the people or my collective or the people that's watching or whatever, for it to be returned to the sender or whatever. So, and that's for your protection and then for mine too as well. But I don't really like to do return to sender. Because I just feel like that if anybody has ill will against me or whatever, that person needs some healing themselves. So I send light and love towards the individual, and pray that they get the healing that they need, so that way they won't continue to do the things that they do towards anybody else. So um that being said, I am a light worker. I'm a star seed light worker. Uh, I don't dive into the dark arts or whatever. I don't do any of that. And anybody who's doing it, if they doing love spells or whatever to go against somebody's free will. Whenever you go against somebody's free will and try to force them to do things the way you wanted to turn out, you're into you what they call dark magic or the dark arts, and you may want to put a hold to that. You may want to look the other way if it's working for you and you feel like you getting something off or whatever. Trust and believe me, yeah, it may work for a short period of time, but it's gonna come back. It always come back. So you have to answer for that. So Um, yeah, I'm here to help. I'm here to help the collective, any way possible. I'm not a healer. I'm like Dr. Yaki Awakening when he says he's not a healer. He tells you how to, to heal yourself, and you heal yourself because you're the one who actually doing the work. So no matter what information I give you, if you don't do the work yourself, it's not going to work. Okay, you have to be willing to do the work. Okay, if I give you a reading and it's giving you advice, to do certain things or whatever, and then you don't do it, or if it's warning you about something and you don't take heed to the warning, certain things can happen or whatever. So, but tarot is not something that you would take in, because tarot itself can ruin a relationship. I've seen it. I mean, I even implemented into my relationship when I was going through that phase of whatever, going through that journey of listening to tarot and taking every situation to be mine, and going to my spouse, the person I'm with, and saying, "Oh, you did this because the reason," yeah, it caused a lot of chaos. So I advise you, if you are watching tarot readings and you are in a relationship, don't ruin your relationship off of a tarot reading. Don't do that. Take the information, know it for yourself, and pay attention to the things that are around you, and use your own intuition and make the decision for yourself. Don't ever take a tarot reading into your own personal situation and make some judgments off of that, because you could be running a good relationship. You could possibly be ruining a good relationship thinking that the reader is talking about your situation when they could be talking about somebody else. Unless you get a personal reading and the reading is about your situation, okay, even then, you still have the option to change anything in that reading. That was the ice maker. You have the option to change the destiny of that, of how that turns out. I've definitely seen people ruin good relationships off of tarot readings. And tarot readings are there to help you understand, and it's really there for spiritual purposes. Honestly, tarot was not ever meant for people to go in and say, "Oh, I want to know my future about my relationship." Like, no, it's the spirit within that person, the spirit within you, and how you can get through this lifetime and get to the next stage, so that way you can grow. Okay, that's what tarot is meant for. It's not meant. People are using tarot in the wrong ways. And yes, I've done love readings. I use the general reading because it focuses on a lot of different aspects in your life, finances, relationship, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to you. What are you going to do with this information? How are you going to apply it in your life? And if you're not optimistic and more pessimistic, and you feel like things are not going to work, guess what? The universe doesn't say all that, and it will not work. But if you're optimistic and you want to stay positive and you want to stay on this on a good standing or whatever, then you have the option to, okay, I'm gonna think this way. And so what we think about comes about. So if you're thinking that this relationship is going to work out or whatever, but if you see that this person may be moving a little funny or whatever, or your spirit is telling you, your heart, something's just not fitting right with this individual, follow that. That's your intuition letting you know you may want to take a second look at who you're dealing with. Okay. Now, me, I'm stubborn. I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt. I want you to prove yourself to me you know that okay, either I want to be wrong in certain situations. I want to be wrong. I want you to prove me wrong of what I think. So I'll stay in some shit knowing damn well I need to get up out of there. And that's when spirit gets to kicking my ass. Like, I done told you, I done told you. Yeah. So when spirit moves you to do something, you better listen. I'm telling you, get slapped all across your head. And you be still having regrets and all this other kind of stuff, but you can't sit in those regrets though. It was meant for you to go through that, so you can learn some lessons. So uh learn to know when to let go when you're dealing with certain individuals. I mean, it could be family members, um, people that you didn't deal with for years. I don't have the same, um, I still have the same friends stuff that, well, can't really call them friends, but I still know people from my past or whatever that I used to deal with, and we're not on the same frequency no more. You know, I used to party, love to drink, used to do all that. Mm-mm. I done been to AA meetings, NA meetings. I didn't did all that. I love it. I love the meetings. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think people who ain't even who's not alcoholics should go, because when I went there, I'm gonna tell you about my journey, y'all. When I went to AA, my first time going to AA, I didn't go there as an alcoholic. I didn't go there looking for help. I didn't go to I was directed in that path. So it was meant for me to be there. It was meant for me to be in AA at the time. And I was already on my spiritual journey during that time too. And come to find out that AA is a spiritual program. That's why I love it, because of what they teach you and to how to get into alignment and whatever. So I think everybody should go to AA. I'm not gonna lie, you ain't gotta be an alcoholic. Just go. And when I went there, I'm like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not supposed to go to these meetings or whatever. And the situation that I was in, it was required that I go to these meetings, even though I wasn't in the program. It was because of the living situation that I was in. And I was at a sober living, so that was part of the program. But I was there because of homelessness. And I was at I was in one program dealing with a house or whatever, and they didn't have any space. And this is around coronavirus time, and they did not, you couldn't put anybody out during that time, so that was the only place I had to go. And so and I was grateful for that, even though it was way different than what I was living at. I was grateful that I had a roof over my head. So but while I was there, I was like, well, I had to go to these meetings and stuff like that, but I started listening over the balcony like, okay, he's talking some good stuff, okay. But I would never introduce myself to the beat. Nothing. It took me a long time to be able to talk at the meeting. So, but I met some wonderful, wonderful people there. I met people from all walks of life. People off the streets that came in there. People who had real bad addictions, and seeing their progress, and and during that time, I had to understand that I had to look back at my past. Like, wait a minute, I did. There was a time I did. I was drinking heavy or whatever, and that's when my sister passed away. I was drinking heavy. I don't know when I stopped or whatever. I don't think I just really stopped. But I had drunk over the years, but I wasn't. I didn't feel like I had to have it. There was a point in time where I would drink just to go to sleep. I felt like I did have to have it then, when I just to get some sleep. Um, and then that stopped or whatever. And drugs did enter into my life, so that was a part of my recovery too. And I had stopped doing that. Um, so yeah, I had to realize that I am an addict. I am an alcoholic. I am a drug addict. And once you say that, once you know that, and you go to the meeting and say, yes, I'm so and so, and I am alcoholic. So even though you ain't had a drink in years, you still are an alcoholic, is what they consider. So yeah, that's a little spill on that. And by it being a spiritual program, I was able to connect with individuals on a spiritual level too. Was able to counsel some people. They came to a lot of people. A lot of people came to me and want to know information or whatever. And still to this day, I'm still in contact with some individuals that where I lived at. So and I actually did a reading for a girl, a girl, um, and that's why I love doing my readings too. I did a reading for her, and it just goes to show you, you know, how passionate I am about this. That's the reason why I am so passionate, because it does help people in positive ways. And I was able to give her a reading, and at the time she didn't understand it, and she didn't really, she didn't know when. I gave her approximate around date, and sure enough, it happened around the time I said it was going to happen. But now she's about to get married. She's with the person that she loves, and yeah. So it all worked out. And that's one of the stories that I have, as far as the reason goes. So if you ever had a reading for me, and you know what I speak about, and you know the reading, how the readings go, whatever, and you want to make a comment, you can put it down below in the comment section. of this video, you can do that. Um, but I just wanted to go in here and speak about, how spiritually protected are you? Are you really, are you doing the work necessary for you to be protected? Are you really doing the work necessary for you to be protected? I mean, you say, well, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what else I should do. And a spirit always guides you. Always guide you. If there's changes you have to have in your life. If your energy is you always a negative person, you always complain a lot, you no, a complaining spirit is not good. It's very low vibrational. Anything that's low vibrational, you want to get away from. You want to ask, you ask God, Spirit, Most High, or whatever, to take that spirit from you, or whatever. Even me myself, when I find myself getting into a place where, I'm not perfect. When I find myself getting into that place or whatever, I ask for it to be removed. I command it to be removed from me because I don't want to be in that spirit. I don't want to be looked at as a person that always complain a lot, or a person, right now I'm in school and I have to and I'm learning about communication, how to communicate with people or whatever. And me and my daughter, the communication barriers between me and her or whatever, it helped me even going to schools. Like I said, spirit will put things in your path to teach you certain things, and you have to pay attention to these little subtle signs or whatever that comes into your life that may be telling you certain things or whatever. So I paid attention to that. And it was the communication barrier that I have. And she said, Mom, you always said why this and why that. Because to me, if I don't understand, I'm asking questions. So I'm always like, why did you do this? And why did you do that? Why is this here? I'm always asking why. But, as I'm studying in school or whatever, I'm realizing that that's not a good way to even ask. That's not a good way to approach a person is by asking, because they get defensive or whatever. And so I have to change my approach. So I'm still learning. Even me, I'm still learning how to even communicate. And I get into relationships or whatever, and the communicate, and one of the biggest things that's a problem is the communication barrier. Whether their communication level is not to where we communicating well. I can't just say them. I won't point the finger at them, just them, because it's me as well. You know, it's all about understanding one another. How well do you understand a person? Um, so they said that's the key factor in a relationship is communication, but I believe it's understanding. Like, you can communicate with me all day long. You may be talking your ear out, communicating, but I ain't understanding nothing you saying because we not on the same level. Whatever. Help me to understand where you coming from, and then maybe we can go from there. But yeah, so I don't do the argument. I don't like doing the argument thing, whatever. To me, arguments are very low vibrational. So if you're in a relationship and you constantly arguing with that person, you may have to take a step back and try to understand what is the argument about. Is it even worth arguing about, or whatever? Because once you start doing that, you don't understand how low vibrational that really is. And you become an energy vampire. You feel like you've been drained just by arguing. All that energy wasted into an argument that wasn't even necessary. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to be careful about a lot of different things. So when it comes to protecting, our ancestors, angels, and spirit guides, they want us to be on a level to where we can receive the protection that we need to receive, especially when we come against these attacks or whatever that's going to come against us or whatever. We have to be careful about how we approach other people too as well. You know, so that people around us and know that the people closest to you is to be the ones that either lash out at you or you lash at them. So those are the ones that we really have to um, you know, take into consideration when it comes to how we approach them or whatever. So communication is one of the biggest key factors, and that's what I'm learning right now, is how to communicate. And I just don't do the arguing. It's just unnecessary for me. It's very low vibrational, you know. And so um also, I'm thinking about the scripture um, where it speaks about cleanliness is next to godliness. If you're walking into this, well, if you're walking in the spirit, if you're walking in the spirit, and you want the spirit to speak through you, you have to keep your temple clean. I'm talking about sexually. You got to be careful about who you having sex with, what kind of food you eating, you know, all that kind of stuff. You have to clean your vessel. You have to be careful. So, and so that way, you can have this connection with your higher power, a higher source, universe, God, what to call it, you know. But mm, and I have some strong warriors, baby. And the ones that, yeah, lately I have to admit that I have been attacked. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. I have gotten attacked and I know that it's an attack or whatever. Yeah, I got my watch upside down. I know that it's a spiritual attack or whatever based off of the and I watch readings too that clarifies most of the stuff that I've already know. I just know that if you want to change, if you want to put yourself in my shoes, or if you feel like that you want to hold on to my energy and don't want to let me go, you're gonna have to. You're gonna be forced to let me go. Put it like that. Whether it was from a past life, this lifetime, or whatever. If it ain't meant for us to be together in this lifetime, it ain't meant for us. If we'd have been together and I didn't let you go, it was a reason why we ain't together. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to hold on to people energetically that you have walked away from. You may say you walked away from this person now, you don't want to deal with this person, you don't deal with them or whatever, but energetically, in the back of your mind, you still hold on to this individual. You're going to have to let that go. Do some cord cutting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you got people that will send certain things or especially if they into the arts or whatever and they know how to manipulate certain energies or do voodoo or spell work or candle magic, whatever the case may be. If you know this individual is into this kind of stuff, trust and believe me. If you ever had any kind of dealings with them and you don't deal with them no more, but in the back of your mind that you know that they still, the energy is still lingering because you find that spirit of them that was in them and the people that you deal with, this person is still attaching themselves to you in some kind of way, whether they doing readings on you, whether they doing candle magic, whether they doing spell work, love magic, love spells or whatever. Protect yourself. Even though they may be doing all this kind of stuff, they may be trying to fuck with your, excuse me, they may be trying to mess with your finances, your love life, they don't want nothing good to happen for you or whatever. Um, because the fact that whether it's something that happened in the past life and they don't even understand it, they don't understand why they coming after you. They feel like they want that you belong to them and them only, and they want you to come back to them or whatever the case may be. They could be sending certain things your way. And you don't understand why certain things are not working out for you. Why every relationship you in always ending up in this kind of way. Or why am I losing jobs? Or why come I can't have it? And your luck is just bad. It could be possibly it could be that this person is doing this. And if that's the case, trust and believe me, it's not going to last long. I mean, you might go even years dealing with this. The person might have this one and then putting these blockages in your way. But trust and believe me, they're gonna have to answer for this. And your glow up is going to be awesome. Your glow up is going to be awesome, and they ain't gonna know what to do. They karma is going to have to be. They're gonna have to sit back and watch you come up while they going down, while they dwindling down, because now they receiving their karma and everything is happening in their life and they don't understand why. Because all the stuff they projected towards somebody or whatever in a negative content or whatever is coming back to them. And they don't understand it. So they will receive their karma, but don't you be their karma. Don't you do what they say, do God's work. Let that happen naturally. That's going to happen regardless. You just keep being you and staying positive no matter what you do. Stay positive. Know that spirit got your back. Know that your ancestors got your back. You continue to do the work necessary for you to stay protected or whatever, and learning the lessons that you need to learn. Trust and believe me, they got you. They got you, baby. They got you. So I've been on here 45 minutes, as long as I even do reading, y'all. But I'm gonna get off of here. Make sure you protect yourself at all times. If you got a lot of candle, if you got to say a prayer, you can say your prayers all day long, but you got to do the work. You got to do the work. And I would suggest that, even though I've been through AA, NA, and all that kind of stuff or whatever, it was a reason why, and it was basically to understand that you do have to clean yourself. You clean your vessel or whatever. Um, when it comes to, I had to learn the lesson of even my health. Like, what am I taking into my body? As far as even like the pineal gland, the chakras, the chakra system or whatever, getting in alignment. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. You know, and once you do that, you start seeing things totally different. And if you want to these surface level people where you only believe what you see, and you don't think with spiritual eyes, you're not going to be able to see what is meant for you, what God has for you. If you are not looking with spiritual eyes, now mind you that we are living in a physical world, and we have to deal with things in this world or whatever. We are still humans, we spirit first, having a human experience. So we do have to understand that the bills got to be paid, and all this kind of. We can't just stay stuck in the spiritual realm or whatever. But we have to look at things dealing with people, places, and things. We have to look at it through spiritual eyes. And my thing is, if you are um, these are even for my Christians, the ones that have been raised up in church. If you sit there and say, "What would Jesus do?" It would help you out a lot. What would Jesus do in this situation? Would he be doing this that I'm doing? And maybe, and then you will start seeing your life change if you start moving in that energy. And look up what the fruits of the spirit is in the Bible. It's mentioned that in the Bible. And I do use, like I said, I use the Bible as a tool. So being mild and meek, going through long suffering, having faith, all these kind of things or whatever. So um as long as you're implementing that into your life on a daily basis, you'll be okay. You will be okay. You know, um, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Spirit move me to say, and like I have things on my mind, and I just got to get it out. And sometimes I wish I could just record what's going on in my mind at the time I'm having, so that way I can just share it. But it don't happen like that. So I get on here, and I may get off subject or whatever, but I try to come back. So the title of this reading, this video is "How Protected Are You?" What are you doing to really protect yourself? How much are you protected? You don't really know how much you are protected, but what are you doing the work to be protected? Are you really doing the work? Are you cleaning your vessel? Are you getting away from the drugs, alcohol, to where you can have a clear state of mind, to where, if you've been attacked, even spiritually, especially spiritually, if you're being attacked, how do you know if you've been attacked? You're not going to know if you are sitting there, you docile, how they want you to be docile, to where you feel what you don't know that you are being attacked. Okay. But as long as your vessel is clean and you thinking with a clear mind or whatever, you're going to know these things. Okay. But so I would advise you, I mean, if you sit there and you smoking your weed or whatever, and it helps you to tap in or whatever, I could understand, you doing it, but to make it like a recreational thing, and you doing it all the time because you want to stay in that realm. If you cannot get connected sober, with a sober mind. This is Babylon. Mind you, this is Babylon. Get out of here, my people, is what it says. If you if you always stuck in your head all the time, and you feel like you can't think clear, you can't get connected, or whatever, unless you smoke some weed, or do some kind of drug or whatever, you already done messed up. Because now you're dependent, and that's one of another life lessons that you're gonna have to learn about codependency. Um, mm, mm. Y'all, hey, telling y'all, they teach y'all about all this. They teach y'all about all that. AA is the place. I ain't gonna lie. I need to find me a meeting where I'm at, but I want to go back to my home, to my home. Yeah, where I started from, and that's in Vegas. Yeah, I gotta go back down there. When I go, I always visit my home. So I'm gonna go down. I gotta plan a trip. I'm planning a trip to go down there and go to one of the meetings. I go to the meetings when I go down there. So um yeah, make sure you protect yourself at all costs. Protect yourself, y'all. And so I'm about to get off of here. And I am going to come back to do some readings, but this is my spiritual talk one-on-one with you guys. So if you guys have any comments or whatever, put it down in the comment section of this video. I will respond back to you. If you guys are looking for a personal reading, if you guys want to learn how to what other things you can do to protect yourself, you can contact me as well. So just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And if you're watching this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I am off this thing. Bye. See you later.